Okay, today is October 26th, and it's hard for me to see because I don't have my glasses on. These things help when you get old. All right, so chapter 1, the human anatomy and orientation. All right, so you guys have been learning about vital signs and all those things, but let's learn where these things come from, okay, while we're doing them. All right, anatomy, the study of structure and shape of the body parts, you don't have to write this down, and their relationship to one another. The term anatomy comes from the Greek word meaning to cut apart. Gross anatomy, microscopic anatomy, is the study of large, easily observable structures by naked eye, such as the heart and the bone. Microscopic anatomy is cytology, histology, the study of very small structures where a magnifying lens or microscope may be needed. All right. Physiology, okay, the study of how the body and its parts work or function. Okay, I want you to know that. Okay, know anatomy, the structure. Know anatomy, the structure and the shape of the body and the parts of their relationship to one another. Okay, I don't really need you to know the Greek term or anything like that. All right, the study of structure and the shape of the body and the parts of their relationship to one another. All right, that is the definition. Okay, won't be any trick questions about the definition. It'll be just the definition. Okay. Okay, move on. Physiology, the study of how the body works and its parts work or function. Like anatomy, physiology has many subdivisions. For example, neurophysiology explains the working of the nervous system, and the cardiac physiology studies the function of the heart. Okay, the study of how the body and its parts work or function. Pretty easy stuff. Relationship between anatomy and physiology. Anatomy and physiology are always related. Structure determines what functions can take place. For example, the lungs are not muscular chambers like the heart and cannot pump blood, but because the walls of the lungs are very thin, they can exchange gases and provide oxygen to the body. So later on, we'll go over each section of the body. Okay, we'll go over respiratory, we'll go over integumentary, we'll go over all those things. Okay. Levels of organization. Okay, the human body exhibits 6 levels of structural complexity: chemical level, cellular level, tissue level, organ system, and organismal level. Represents the highest level of structure. Okay, so know these levels. Chemical level, which is the simplest level. Okay, so you can just write the chemical level, cellular level, all the details and things you can go over on your own when I put the PowerPoint in thing probably in a couple of days. Okay, unless you want to sit here and write it all, it doesn't matter to me. Okay, but I would highly suggest that you write some things down because you're just not at an age where you're disciplined enough to study all of that information when on a PowerPoint. You're just not there yet. Okay. All right. Chemical level, cellular level, tissue level. Okay. All these little details, groups of similar cells that have common function, 4 basic types. Okay. Organ level, organ system, organismal level. You have a total of 11 organ systems. 11 organ systems. Eleven organ systems. Okay? All right, so I could go over this diagram. You'll see it. It's not something I'm going to necessarily bother with at this point, so we can move on. Body system. The human body has 11 systems. Integumentary system. What would the integumentary system, take a wild guess? What is the integumentary system? You see it every day. Skin. Okay? Integumentary system is the skin. Okay? Pretty easy. It is. Uh-oh, sorry. All right, skin. All right, it waterproofs, cushions, protects deeper tissues, excretes salts, urea, pain, and pressure. Okay? And the reason it says pain, because you have pain receptors in your skin. That's how, a baby knows, or a child rather, knows that when he gets ready to touch something that's hot. It doesn't take him he doesn't have to get very close to know that it's hot because of those sensory organs that are in his skin. Okay? That's how you can feel when a mosquito lands on your arm, on your neck, unless you're just not paying attention. Because those sensory organs, yes. Sometimes, if you're just not paying attention, or it lands like, I don't feel them. I go to the country a lot, and I don't feel them when they land on my head. And all of a sudden, when I go there to go to bed, I got 12 knots on my head from being bit by the mosquito. Regulates body temperature, synthesizes vitamin D. Okay, synthesizes vitamin D. It produces vitamin D. Okay, so those are your functions. Know what the functions of each system are. Okay, that is the most important part of this lecture, is knowing what functions each system is responsible for. I can't hear you. Say it again. Yeah, unfortunately, most young women are low on vitamin D. That's why it's always good to have some type of vitamin D supplement, for bones and other things. I know we used to do a blood drive, and most of the girls couldn't do it either because of their weight, they were just too small, or they were really low on vitamin D. Okay, so it's important to keep that up, keep a supplement. Okay, everybody got the functions? You sure? Okay. Skeletal system, we all know what that is. Cartilages, joints, and bones. Okay. Protects and supports body organs, framework for muscles and movement, hemophysis, and stores minerals. Okay, so your skeletal system is responsible for your structure, and most importantly, it stores, especially your big bones, your femur, probably stores the most nutrients and all those things inside your bones. So, I know we don't hear a lot about, bone diseases, bone cancer, things like that. But when you get those cancers and things like that in your bones, it really affects the patient. Nutrients are down, a lot of other things are down. So it's mesothelioma. Yeah. Oh, sorry. If you look at your bones here, your ribs, they do what? They provide structure, but they most importantly provide protection of those internal organs. Okay? Protection of those internal organs. You take those things for granted, but when you're in cheer or dance or whatever you're in and you fall and things of that nature, those bones protect those organs. Otherwise, you probably would have been dead a long time ago. The skull, protecting the brain. Okay, all those things. So, to put this in perspective, when you start working on your PCT, most of the patients you're going to deal with are geriatric patients. Geriatric patients are the older population, okay? And their bones, when you get so old, their bones are brittle. So that's why it's important. Their skin is brittle. When you put a Band-Aid, if you ever notice when you put if an older person has a Band-Aid or they have some kind of dressing on their arm, when they pull it pulls off some of the skin. So we have to use special tape when we're putting those on, and we have to be careful when we take it off because they don't regenerate skin and their bones don't recover as fast as yours will. Mine doesn't recover as fast as yours. The older you get, the slower the recovery. It's just, they say 40 is young. Yeah. I know you don't think that right now, but 40 is fairly young. Okay. But I mean, I started feeling it at 40, 42. I used to play basketball a lot, just pick up basketball in gyms, and I realized that I'm not moving as fast as I was, and it's a really daunting thing when you realize that, I'm not moving as fast as I thought I was, as fast as I was before. I'm sitting here and I'm running with a 20-year-old and I'm 42, and I'm like, boy, this is not working out. And then after a while, you just give it up, or you go play with guys that are your age. So that 40-ish, for me, it was that, it's different for everybody. But that 40-ish, 40, 45-ish, unless you can just keep that motor, there's a lot of pro football players and basketball players that kept their motor going, but they kept it going from their 20s. You know what I mean? Once you start having children and things of that nature, things slow down quite a bit. You're not as active as you were. And so, definitely 55, 60 is definitely, I mean, it's kind of gliding down at 40. You're kind of gliding, you're not, it's not a nosedive, but you're kind of gliding down at 40. But boy, I tell you, when you get to 55 and 60, boy, it's nosediving. I mean, it's taking a real turn. So, I notice now that, I take a little more ibuprofen than I used to take before, and that's just for regular things. I don't, I take things that keep me regular. All those things, because again, your body is like a car. It does not, what does a car do? Once you drive it so many miles, what happens? Mileage starts to break down, right? Body the same way. The mileage, the eating, what you eat, soda, chips, all those things play a part. And a big part of it is genetics. I know some people that are old and man, they move faster than me. But I know a lot of people that are younger that, I got friends I used to play basketball with or play football with, and I look at them, they got back problems. And so it's just how you keep up with it. All right, muscular, skeletal muscles, okay? Organs, skeletal muscles attached to bones, functions, contraction and mobility, locomotion, just moving, okay? Contraction, facial expression, posture, produce body heat. This is one of the more important things. Your muscles